I got a bunch of more comedians for you. Up next, she's a recent transplant. We stole her from Chicago. She's here for a brief period of time, so we're going to take every minute we can get. She's an instructor at Second City. Y'all give it up for Tamale Sepp!
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you for leaving me with that knocks. I was like, cool. Always nice. Always feels good. Always feels good. You guys, let's give it up for all the comics you've seen so far, including our host. So great. When he introduced me as Tamale, y'all didn't expect this to walk out, did you? You did. Okay, but you've seen me before, so that doesn't count. So, yeah. It's not the name on my birth certificate. I actually was homeschooled, obviously. I went to a public high school, and my Spanish teacher actually started using my first and middle name, Tammy, started calling me Tamale. So my Spanish teacher called me Tamale, my classmates called me a whore. Which really sucked, because I was like legit, like Christian, saving myself for Jesus, the whole deal, right? And I'm like, I didn't even do anything! But I should clarify, they actually called me zanahoria. Nobody speaks Spanish here? Zanahoria means carrot. But to my homeschooled ears, it did not sound like that. And it was gut-wrenching. It was so painful. I do wear all black. I like it a lot. I'm available for some light burglary. If anyone needs to get into an ex's place, a little bit of light burglary, I like that. It's really fun. If we're still casting white American women as Asians, I am available for those roles as well. Thank you, Scarlett Johansson. Appreciate that. It's good stuff. In the springtime, I like to wear my brightest blacks, my grays. Very comfortable. I find that to be very, very comfortable. You guys think your beer's okay? It's okay. Are they good? They're delicious. Do you know he's taking that one, right? And he's moving it. Aww, that's so nice. It's out of the kick zone. That's right. When you start laughing, I was watching you get real physical. And he knows that. He's like, I've seen Gallagher. I know what to do here. You know, just puts a little plastic bag bib on her. We got it all handled. It's no big deal. You guys, I get it. Speaking of plastic bibs, you guys watch crime shows at all? You guys like that? I love a crime show. Women love crime shows. We talk about crime in our stand-up a lot. A lot, because women think about crime a lot. And not like, you know, white-collar crime. We're not like, man, if that guy sneaks another $1 million out of his company, we don't care. We want to stay alive. That's what we're about. It's our jam, right? We're really into it. So it's like, we consume all of these podcasts. We love crime shows. What I think is so interesting about crime shows is all the murder. Like, there's so much murder that happens. This is a comedy show. I'm going for it. I don't give a crap. I love murder shows. I love it. What always strikes me, though, is that whenever a gal gets murdered, they always talk about what? How beautiful she was. Always. And I've seen some of these pictures, y'all. I'm in no danger. I know. I leave these eyebrows off, I'm safe. I'm good to go. I'm in a lot of danger when I throw some mascara on this. I just want you to know. It's terrifying. I move a little faster on the street. Crime shows, you know, when people are always calling, the gals are always like, oh man, you know, she was so beautiful. And it was always like a savage murder. It was never like she was just like hugged really tightly, and then they just didn't stop, you know, and then she just kind of passed away. Like, that never happens. It's always like a savage, it's like a beautiful woman gets savagely murdered, and it's always so tragic, right? It's always like, oh, this is such a tragedy. She could have been something. I was like, she was something. Right? Like they always say that, she could have been someone's sister, someone's wife, someone's mother. And it's like, yeah, also she was just a human without relation to anyone else, right? Like, is that what's required for you to care? Dang, that's hard. Like, that's problematic. Like, you just never see that with dudes. Like, you never see it like Detective Kelly. Come over here, yeah. No, he's moderately attractive. He was gently murdered. I can see that plain as day. Yeah, I mean, this is probably not the best situation, but I wouldn't call it a tragedy, you know? But he could have been someone's wife, someone's sister, someone's mother. That's always rough. Do you have any queer people in the audience tonight? You guys are so, I love it. You're so attentive. I feel like you might be teachers. Are anybody here teachers? Okay, because here's the thing, my background's in education, and teachers are the worst at being in an audience. They're the worst. That's why I was like, I wonder if they're teachers that are just not drunk enough yet. Because the younger you teach, the more wasted y'all get when you go out. What do you guys do?
High school math.
High school math? Do you do that for fun, or do you teach it? Both? That's so awesome. High school math, man. That's so nuts. That's crazy. I'm like, oh my god. I was homeschooled, so I just tried to learn as much as I could of math, but it wasn't my thing. It wasn't my bag, right? It just wasn't. I'm not great at it. Not great at it. But what I love is, are you guys also the ones that were here with Stephanie? Yeah. So I actually saw her at a coffee shop the other day, and it was so crazy because I was like, oh man, because we were on Broad Street, you know, and I was like, oh, there's that comedian. I was like, oh man, she's so funny. Second funniest person in Florida, right? I was like, that must have sucked. Second, right? Like that must have really hurt, you know? Like probably, I would guess, almost as bad as it hurts to be the second funniest comic on Broad Street. I'm still salty. It stung, you know? It stung. It really stung. So queer people, I saw there's like one hand out there. I saw just a one lone gay person, like. It's always the knee. It's always. All right. No. That is literally my watch telling me, wow, I really appreciate that. No, I'm set. Thanks. I watch. Funny story, not at all on my set. I also skydive because I have a lot to prove. And I made the mistake of taking my Apple Watch on me on one of my jumps. And I didn't think about it, right? Because you wear like a bunch of different things. You wear like an altimeter that tells you where you are in the sky. Because I don't really like to guesswork that kind of stuff, right? Like I'm not great at numbers, right? We've already established that. So I'm like, I don't want to be like, well, if it hurts, I waited too long. All right. Should have probably pulled earlier. Like I'm not going to do that to myself. So I wear my Apple Watch. And I had my altimeter and some other stuff on my arms because when you're flying and you're like making formations and stuff, there's information you need and it's right there for you. So I think skydiving is really for like suicidal people with commitment issues. You know what I mean? There's like a real like, I'm not afraid to die, but maybe not today. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of where it gets there. It gets there. So I did that. My canopy came up. I'm under canopy. I'm looking up. All right, it's there. It's square. I can land it. All right, cool. This is gonna work. And I'm just happy as a clam. I land safely, which is the biggest part. That's the hardest part. That's where people really die, is the landing safely part. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong between when that opens up and when your feet are on the ground. And I'm always really nervous because I've seen me fold a fitted sheet. So it's dicey. You know what I mean? I'm like, is it gonna come out? I don't know. It's kind of like me in high school. You know what I mean? I'm a little scared about that. So I land and it's all good. I'm gathering up my canopy and I'm tossing it over my shoulder, feeling really good about myself. And then I get to the manifest, little office box, and they're like, "Oh my God, we've been getting phone calls. Turns out when you have a high impact pause, if you're going at a rate like in a car, like a normal human being, and all of a sudden you stop, but way too fast for how fast you were going." There's like it tells people, it alerts your crew, like, hey, this person might be really seriously harmed, so it sends out these SOS text messages. So my parents, my best friend, like a whole list of my like emergency contacts, get this text message that's like, SOS text from Tamale's Apple Watch. She's probably dead. And everyone knows I was skydiving, so they freak out. So they're calling, trying to check on me and stuff. And I'm out in the field just like, yeah, that was awesome. Not at all aware. That was so sad. It was a really mean thing. I don't jump with it anymore. It's just not a nice thing to do at all. I'm the kind of queer where I like masculine women. Like I like butch women. Like I love butch women. Like I like a woman who can like build me something, and then fuck me on that thing that they built. That is my jam. I do like them. I do like them a lot. I get asked that really annoying question a lot. That one. A lot of straight people ask this one. Mostly dudes. They ask that question, which one of you is the woman and which one of you is the funny one? Yep, I hear it. Hear it a lot. Hear it a lot. As a queer woman, my job is to adopt rescue dogs, like a second job. I have 3 so far. I'm not going to stop. I'll give you one guess at what color all 3 of them are. That is correct, sir. That is correct. I hope you're in their HR department. God, that'd be so perfect. Like, I already knew. I knew it. That's right. I left context cues and clues. Yeah, I love it. I adopt dogs. I love it. I commit to it. Like, I love being a dog mom. I'm really into it. I was actually legitimately at a comedy show once asked to rehome a White Claw. That's how deep someone took a sip and decided it wasn't for them. I had to find that White Claw forever home. And I did. I did. I really love it. I love adopting dogs. Do any of you have kids? Yeah, you guys do? Yeah. You guys do. Do you get offended when people call their dogs their fur babies? That's because you're cool. You're here, so that was a big clue. But you don't get offended either? You know? So some people do. But some of my straight friends are like, Tamale, you can't be walking around calling those dogs your fur babies. It's not the same thing. Duh. Pretty clear about that, right? Yeah, right? I was like, yeah, I know. And they're like, it's not the same. And I was like, well, it's offensive, Tamale. I'm like, okay, well, why? They're, well, you don't face the same kind of pressures as we do. You don't face the same sort of pressures. I was like, all right, cool. So, like, what do, tell me about your skin children. And I'll see if it's, like, what's going on. They said, well, you don't get the pressure to breastfeed your dogs. And I was like, that's true. I do it because I love them. My nipples are chafed. There's a lot of food aggression among rescues. All 6 of my nipples just raw. It's really painful. It's really painful. I'm a really competitive person. You guys competitive? God, I'm so competitive. I get really into competitions. My mom and I recently played a game of Scrabble. And I was like, I'm gonna annihilate this woman. I love her so much, but I was ready to win. You know what I mean? I was ready to win. And I was like, the problem is that if you play Scrabble, sometimes you can put a word down and then people can like challenge you, right, on what that word is. So I was like, all right, I'm looking at the board and I'm like, okay, I'm a kinky person. I'm like, I'm gonna use some nomenclature that I am familiar with. And I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put Blumpkin on there. Blumpkin. And I put it on there, my mom was like, challenge, I'm not challenging that word. I'm like, no problem, Mom, go ahead and look it up. I won that round. So we got a little further in the game, and then I was like, oh, here's another win. This is a double word score. Yiffing. My mom, some of you know what that is. That's impressive. It's furry porn. And my mom's like, Yiffing, no, challenge. I challenged that word. I'm like, all right. Google it. Look it up. Google it. That's what she did to us as kids. When we had a question, look it up, right? Oh, how the tables have turned. Because I'm just imagining her like image search, like all the advertising that's gonna be hurled towards her. And then finally I was like, all right. And I saw, it was like triple word score. I was like, all right. It was gooning. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah. Gooning, it's like when it's the state of mind you're in after a prolonged edging session. And I was like, yeah, gooning. And she's like, I challenged, you know what, you can win. It's fine. You can win, which is good, that's fine, because I love to win. You know, it's funny, a lot of times, I'm a queer woman, and a lot of times guys are really concerned about the size of their dicks. We're gonna go there now, we're doing that. And I'm here to tell you, like, I have sex with people who have no dicks, and I'm very happy with my choices. So I assert that it's less the size and more about making sure that she comes first and last, actually, as would be a preference. So like that's what I tell them, and my guy friends they're always like really concerned. And I was like, listen, like in my bedroom, for example, I treat the dildo selection like a collection of fine wines, right? So it's like I pull out the trunk because I'm not a fucking baby, and I just reach in there, and it's like, would the lady prefer a 2015 Lilo? Oh, or perhaps a 2019 Rabbit? No? All right. Oh. Mayhaps the lady prefers a 2022 Bad Dragon? You guys know what that is? Look it up. You guys, that's my time.